In the new Minecraft update, Mojang announced that they're removing the ability to cure villagers multiple times to keep lowering their prices. In this video, I'm going to show you how to build a machine that will let you cure mass numbers of villagers at a time so you can do it before the update. Here are the materials I used. There's a few variations of things you can use, as you can see, and the things on the right in the blue box are used purely for decoration, so you can substitute those out for anything you want. Alright, we're going to start off by building a 16 by 7 platform with our building block. And the reason I'm doing this build in the air is just to show off how it's done more easily. I would recommend doing it on the ground, but just beware that you're going to have to dig a little bit into the ground to do the redstone. Next up, we're going to build up a 4 block high border around the outside, and just ignore that missing block in the middle. I thankfully fix it in a minute. Once you've got that done, you're going to come down to the inside and go to one of the ends and place down 5 beds on each side of the build. Now we're going to break the 2 blocks over top of each bed, and then on the bottom block we're going to place whatever job block you'd like the villager to be, and then on top of that I placed a slab, although you could place anything that isn't a solid block. Next, we'll turn around here and leave 2 blocks of space after the last bed, and then build up a wall to divide the room in half. Now we're going to build a 3 by 1 doorway in the wall with a fence gate on the ground so that the villagers can't get out, and then we're going to place rails all along the middle. Next, I'm just going to quickly place some windows. This isn't necessary for the build, and you can always design it however you'd like. Now we'll move on to the other room, and I'm just going to do the same thing, just quickly place some windows and also a doorway. Next, break a 2 by 3 block hole right where I do it there, and then bring the edges down 2 blocks. Then we're going to continue our railway path and make it turn towards the corner at the end, and lastly we're going to place 3 trap doors on the far edge of the pit. Next we're going to do the bottom of the pit, so leave a block of space in between the walls and create this L shape with the hook facing towards the side of the beds. Now, we'll fill in those 2 gaps with upward facing sticky pistons, and under the one on the end, put another upward facing sticky piston. Now, we'll go back up and fill the bottom. I did this with brown concrete mix, but you can use any block that gets affected by gravity. We're going to wire that up in a second, but while you're down here, break these 2 blocks in opposite corners and place dispensers. This is going to be for our weakness potions. Now place a button just over the first trap door, and then we'll come over to the other side and place a block just under the block where we put the button. Now I'm going to staircase down to both of the dispensers so I can hook them up to redstone. Alright, now I'll place the redstone. And then I'll quickly fill up the dispensers with some weakness potions, and when we press the button, if both of them shoot the weakness potions out, we know it works. Next we're going to wire up the double piston extender. It sounds complicated, but if you follow what I do, it shouldn't be too hard. We'll start off by placing a block underneath the block that's 3rd from the right. Then we'll staircase down 1 more block. Then we'll turn towards the outside of the machine and staircase down 2 more blocks. Now turn the same way and go down 1 more block and then extend it so it's 3 blocks long. Now extend that first block out 1 and then go down 1 block and make this square shape. The idea is to have 2 paths leading to the bottom piston. And then at the end of the path you just made, staircase up 1 block, and then we're going to put any kind of slab, and then 1 more block next to the piston. And lastly, we'll just place 2 blocks leading up to the last piston. Now I'll come up and place my redstone. It's mostly going to be redstone all the way down, but we're going to have repeaters going into each of the pistons. You're going to want to make sure that for the bottom one, you have 2 repeaters going into it. One set at 0 ticks and one set at 3. This is because we want the bottom piston to be the first one powered and the last one to get unpowered. Now for the middle one, we'll place the repeater on the slab and give it 1 tick and then connect it up with redstone. And for the last piston, we'll give it a redstone dust, which will connect to the dust underneath the slab, and then we'll give it a repeater at 0 ticks. Now we'll move back up to the top and place a lever on this bottom block 1 away from the left. Now, if you did everything right, when you flick the lever, it should create this nice staircase that disappears when you flick it again. Next we're going to build the room for the zombie to sit in, so jump in the pit and break these middle 2 blocks. If you did everything the way I did, you should have enough space to make a little 2x1 room without running into the redstone. Now break the block above the room you just created and then jump back into the pit. And now we'll place 2 trapdoors to wall off the zombie room. One on the inside on the bottom and one on the outside. Now you just have to get a zombie to follow you into the pit and then crouch and sneak out of the trapdoors. Now once we've got all the villagers settled in their living quarters and they all have jobs, you're going to want to trade with them once to make sure they lock in their trade, and then we can move them all over into the pit. I would recommend doing 8 villagers at a time. Before I show you how to use it, I gotta explain something first. The reason why we don't usually cure multiple villagers in the same area is because different zombie villagers take different amounts of time to cure, and so what happens is one zombie villager will cure and turn into a villager, and then the other ones will immediately attack it and turn it back into a zombie villager. We can prevent this by simply standing in plain view of all of the zombie villagers. They'll be too distracted by you to go after the newly cured villagers, and eventually all of them will be done. To start off, we'll open the trapdoor containing the zombie to let it infect the villagers. Unfortunately, I forgot that zombies burn in daylight and some of them caught on fire. Normally this wouldn't be a problem for you though because you'd have a roof over it, but I don't, so that I could show you some of the shots easier. I was able to save most of them, but one of them died, but that's okay, I'll still be able to do the demonstration. Now that they're all converted into zombie villagers, we can go stand on the trapdoors. This is going to be our spot where they can all see us, so they keep aggro on us while they all convert. We'll press the button to shoot the weakness potions at them, and then manually give them the golden apples and wait for them to cure. Make sure you stay standing in the same spot so they stay aggroed on you. Now that the villagers are all cured, I'll look at their trades, and as you can see, they've gone down a little bit, but this isn't enough. So I'll do it a few more times, and then I'll see you then. Now, as you can see, my trades are at 1. This took 4 cycles of curing and reinfecting them, and it usually takes between 4 and 5. Now we can use our lever to activate the staircase and let the villagers back up. Usually this is the point where I minecart them off to my villager trading hall, however you can do with them whatever you want. If you're still watching by now, thank you, your time is much appreciated. Subscribe and comment what tutorial you want to see next, and if I pick your comment, I'll give you a shout out. Thanks for watching, see ya.